Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Hey, welcome back to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 96. We are coming at you from our homes in nice, sunny, warm Indiana.
We are not on the Kiss Cruise.
We are not on the Kiss Cruise. And it is rather nippy here occasionally, but I'm still wearing shorts tonight. And there you go. Anyway, we are going to talk a little bit about the Kiss Cruise tonight. And we are going to then we have our regular topic, which we'll get to in a little bit later. But we have been eagerly awaiting the Kiss Cruise videos and song lists and that kind of stuff. And there's been some pretty cool stuff going on that cruise. What do you guys think? I mean, there's
the highlight.
I watched. Highlight. Go ahead. Nope. Go.
The highlight for me is "Sweet Pain," because that completes the every song on the Destroyer album has finally been performed live. And as
is that one that hadn't been performed live?
To the best of my knowledge, it was never performed live when Destroyer came out. I believe up until the symphony thing in Australia, Great Expectations had never been performed live. So for me, Sweet Pain is the holy grail of the live songs for me.
Cool. Very cool. I mean, they have done so much stuff that's been, cool stuff so far that it's crazy. Julian posted some stuff. I was trying to find it here real quick because he posted a really cool post earlier today that had some interesting things from the list, and I wrote it. Had it wrote down, and I threw it away. Tomorrow and tonight. They did tomorrow and tonight.
Right, that would be kind of cool. I haven't heard.
Cool. I mean, that's something you don't see them do.
Well, this is the first time they actually performed Tomorrow and Tonight for real.
Right.
Yeah,
I like that. I want you, or they meant.
Is that
you?
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. Yeah. That was really good, except for Paul struggling, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
I think Hot and Cold's pretty cool. That's kind of cool to do something off there. I thought they did a really pretty good job.
Hot and Cold's on Sonic Boom, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
I wouldn't know that song from Adam and Eve. I honestly, that record never gets played. I did like the "I" off of The Elder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you.
I got that. I saw that video, and the first thing I thought was, I've got to send this to Bill. I know he'll like it.
I don't
like
give a
that
shit.
Song. I like that song, and they played it good. And I tell you what, they kicked it out.
Well, they played it good because Gene sang it.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly. No, there was some
now
Paul
in their
singing.
defense, they play all of the songs good, or they play all of the songs.
Yeah, they play. Yes, that's true.
Musically wise, sonically wise, they're good. I mean, musically wise, but it's
as much as I hate to see how his vocal cords are struggling.
I had a very sad evening. Like I said, I was wanting to sit and watch a lot of these because I knew that we talked about our topic, and I said, well, I'm going to sit and listen to these things, and all of a sudden we went through. I started listening to some of the Paul Stanley acoustic set. Ooh. I tell you what, it was really tough. I mean,
yeah, I had Noah watch it earlier. I had him watch Ain't Quite Right, and I was like, he's like, that's horrible.
I mean, I don't feel bad. I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad. It just makes me feel bad. I mean, I'm like going, does he not realize how bad his voice is? That's my question. Does he not realize how bad his voice is?
Well, I'm sure that people have tagged him on Twitter and made comments about that. So I'm sure he knows that there's a problem, but people keep coming and paying to hear him sing, so he's going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. He wouldn't be the first one.
You know.
It's done
Well,
that.
like I said, I sent you guys an email earlier. I said, or a text earlier saying, I taped them up in Indianapolis at the when we were up at the.
yeah, but that was when
right.
he was maxed out, man.
Well,
That
it
was
would,
when he was to the peak.
it would have been
peaking,
96, was it? Was the official?
The reunion was 96,
reunion.
97.
Well,
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
it was before that. It was in
95.
95 was the
94.
Expos.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
and I've got a handheld video of that acoustic concert. I mean, it's shaky as hell. It'll make you dizzy watching it. But the vocally wise on that thing, dude, I'm telling you, I watch that sometimes and it gives me a chill. It's just his voice was so fucking incredible, and to now see him in this position, it's sad. It really is sad. I mean, I can't watch that stuff. It's hard to watch.
So let's talk about Bob and Bruce Kulick.
Oh, man, I tell you what, who saved the day? Seriously.
Yeah, Bob and Bruce were joined with by the drummer Brent Fritz and Todd Kearns as a bassist and lead vocalist, and man, they tore that crap up. Every video I've seen has been incredible. I mean,
yeah.
Deep cuts.
I will say that
songs.
for the diva that Bob is, he has the talent to back it up.
Oh, he does.
Absolutely. And I've just been amazed at actually the set list they did was incredible. All American Man, Larger Than Life. Did they do Who Wants to Be Lonely?
Who Wants to Be Lonely was the highlight for me.
Yeah, great. I mean, incredible.
I've mentioned on the show before that the solo in Who Wants to Be Lonely is my favorite Bruce Kulick solo ever.
He tore it up.
I thought they did incredible. I mean,
and then like Goodbye from Paul's solo album. I mean, that was just, dude, those guys. And I tell you what, that guy that they got singing and playing bass, dude, he's on top of it.
Hey, Todd Kearns, do you want to come on our show?
Exactly.
I bet therell be a lot of us reaching out for Todd.
Hammered. So he will get
hammered. We need to figure out how to get a hold of him right now.
And if I'm not mistaken, I heard I heard Bruce mention that he's singing some of the Union songs. Is that correct or not? I'm just flying off the cuff.
I haven't heard that. I don't know.
Because I don't know for sure who was in Union, like I said, whenever he did that project. But anyway, no, those guys, sonically, they sounded great. Even vocally, they sounded really good. And like I said, with Bruce and Bruce sounded really good. It was really interesting to see him playing that SG. You never seen Bruce play an SG. It was kind of weird. And but him and Bob together, though, they were just like, I don't know, was it?
I've seen Bruce
Larger Than Life. That first lick when they're playing together, they were just fucking tearing it up. I mean,
I've seen Bruce play the SG with Grand Funk.
Maybe that's where it's coming from then. Yep. Yeah, I told you that I thought that's where it was coming. That it was, he had brought that because he had to leave the boat today, I believe, to get back for a set. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think in one of those that Todd might have mentioned something about being in that. Is he in that band? Is he in the Nashville? The residency in Nashville. I think he is.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think he might be, and I think he mentioned that.
Something we need to look into.
Yeah, it'd be cool to try to get a hold of him, and they just tore it up. I mean, I was very impressed. I mean, totally impressed with everything they were doing. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was real impressed too. So what's the other things that you're going to be doing on it? I mean, they did that first night. They did the Sail Away cruise, which, of course, the Sail Away thing was a joke. I mean, that was basically the same thing they've done, acoustic set.
Yeah,
it's the same bullshit they've done before. The first concert, so I guess tonight there's probably, another concert?
I believe tonight's the second electric show.
So we'll have to see what, they pull out of that one. But Yeah, like I said, it's just like I said, when they're going to be doing this, I'm sure they're going to be doing this after, because they said basically they're not going to tour any this year, right? Because Gene's got his
I don't.
book or
Yeah,
got this
I
the
don't-
ball
I've not heard that, so I don't
So
know.
they're not going to be touring. So I would say coming up, the next tour is going to be the end tour. I would guess that. That's what somebody was saying today, that it'll be basically 2018 to 2020 or whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if there ends up not being a final tour.
I honestly, I don't think it can happen. I honestly do not want to go. To be honest, I do not want to go.
Well, don't go, but I'm going.
Do you want your last thought of Kiss to be something that's not up to par?
I want my last thing to be the last thing.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm with you. I'll probably go.
It's already not been to par. That's already happened. It's been that way.
See, I haven't seen him for a while. I haven't seen him where he's struggling. So for me, it would be like the last time I seen him was pretty damn good. It was on the Lost Cities tour, is when I seen him.
Good Lord, that's been
man, that's
like 97.
1998, 97.
Yeah. I have not seen him. I have not seen them. I have not seen him with the.
You can't even count yourself as a fan. Then you might as well give that shit up.
Well, they haven't come to Evansville. Number one, and number two, I can't get any place else, and I'm not gonna, So there you go.
All right, fine.
All right.
So do we have anything else to talk about, or are we going to jump right
I'm gonna
into our
I'm gonna
topic?
go to. Actually, I'm going to Nashville this weekend. Lord help me if I can stay healthy enough. And then my wife now, my beautiful wife, she has now got a sore throat. So I've been dealing with this shit for a week. We were going to go to Nash Vegas this weekend and see Amos Lee play along with the Philharmonic.
Oh yeah.
I've seen Amos Lee 4 times now. Still don't know about 2 of the songs. I just don't pay attention. But I'm curious to see him play him with his band is a first class band. I mean, every time you go see him, it's not something I get into, but it's something that I can sit and listen to. It's not that bad. But when I get home, I don't ever pull out an Amos Lee disc or on Spotify.
Really, I figured you would probably do that. I figured
I do not.
Be listening to it and getting the set list ahead of time. But you get the set list ahead of time to know when the last song is. You get the hell out of there.
Don't even. I wouldn't. Even mention whatever name it was of the song. I wouldn't know what it was whenever he played it. I mean, like going, is this the last song?
No, but you can count, can't you?
That's true.
1, 2, 4, 7, 12.
So anyway, we're going to go down for this, and it'll be Saturday night. He's doing actually 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night.
Is Saturday night all right for fighting?
It probably be. Yeah, it's in Nash Vegas. There could be all kinds of shit going on. So we're gonna go out to eat and do that and go see this. But like I said, I'm kind of curious.
Is it down at the TPAC Center?
No, it's at the Philharmonic
Center.
It's the building that the Philharmonic plays on. It's right. Actually, it's down. It would be east of the.
All right, too detailed.
No, it's down the street. It's toward the end. You know where the Hard Rock is?
You lost Bill at East.
You go about 2 blocks north or 2 blocks the other way from the river from there, and then it's behind there. It's kind of behind that thing. That's the place where we seen Kenny Rogers stand outside doing they were doing some kind of award show that night. I was out there yelling, going, "Come on, sing something!" That's great. Anyway,
well, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt. Speaking of Saturday night, this Saturday is the Elton John concert here in Evansville, so that's where my sorry ass is going to be.
Cool.
Oh, you son. Why? That's not. You shouldn't be sorry about that. That's gonna be cool.
Well, I'm not sorry about that. I'm just a sorry ass.
Well, that's true.
I'll switch you a ticket for Amos Lee for the Philharmonic.
You can suck a big one.
Wow. That's harsh.
I got a sweater for you.
Yeah. There you go. Goodness sakes. All right. You guys ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so tonight's main topic is we're going to focus on Eric Carr a little bit and spend some time talking about Eric Carr and our five favorite Eric Carr songs. I'm not a big fan of these list things, but they're kind of cool sometimes.
But why are we doing this?
Well,
yeah,
now,
so I'm going to tell you a little story.
Before you get to the story, instead of saying 5 favorite Eric Carr songs, shouldn't it be more like 5 songs from the Eric Carr era?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, 5 Eric Carr songs you can remember from back then.
There weren't 5 Eric Carr songs in the catalog.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
What? Okay.
Eric sang lead vocals
playing semantics.
on 2 songs.
So we're playing semantics.
Right.
But okay.
Well,
right.
If we don't play semantics,
whatever
Alan
said is fine.
But the reason why this whole thing became is an interesting story. Bill, would you like to tell a story?
Sure. So I was in my office last week and working on a project, and had one of the people I was working with from a company said, "Hey, I would like for you to talk to the North American vice president or something like that of finance or whatever from a company." And I said, "Okay." He said, "Well, they sent me the information, and the guy's name was Sandy." When they said it on the phone, it was Sandy Caravello. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. So immediately the antennas go up, goosebumps, and I'm like, okay, here we go. So I get an email from him, and I sit there and I'm like, okay, do I send an email back to him and just ask him the real question that I want to know, or do I just wait? So I'm like, nope, I'm asking. So I shot him back an email, and I said, hey, Sandy, I said, your name is this is going to seem like a weird question, but I need to ask it anyway. Your name is very means something to me because I am a fan of the rock band Kiss, and wanted to know if you were by any chance related to Paul Caravello, who was Eric Carr in the rock band Kiss. And I said, don't mean to bother you, whatever. So he sends me a thing back, and it says, there's a Kiss fan everywhere. And so we traded some emails, and so it was pretty cool. He is his dad. His dad is Paul's dad's brother. So they're cousins, twice removed or once removed or whatever. And he said they used to call him Paulie when they were little, and all that kind of stuff. So he does know him and knew him, and that whole bit. But I will probably meet him at the end of the month. And it'll be kind of cool because I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about Eric or Paul or whatever they call him if I get a chance. So, yeah, it was kind of cool. So that kind of brought me. I was like, well, that's kind of cool. So I thought, we got to spend a little bit of time talking about Eric Carr and spend a little bit of time at least picking our 5 favorite Eric Carr era songs, since he since he played on all of them that he could play on, but whatever. Anyway, so there we go. That's what we're going to do tonight. Is we're going to talk about our 5 favorite Eric Carr era songs. So, Alan, you want to go first?
Sure. My number 5 pick is Little Caesar, basically because he wrote the lyrics to that song, and because that was the only real the only song he got to sing lead on a Kiss album that was not Beth.
Yeah, that was actually this is going to be probably quick because that was one of mine as well. And that actually was number 5 for me. Same thing. I agree. But I like the song though. I mean, I do like the song. So it isn't like it's just an Eric Carr song and I picked it, but I do like it. So Dennis, what do you got, man?
All right. So mine, number 5 pick, like I said, and I was preface it with, I'm not a huge 80s Kiss fan. I mean, not that I don't like Eric Carr, I just wasn't a fan of the music then. But I do have a few songs. Boomerang off the same album. Actually, it was right after Little Caesar.
Yeah.
Because of I look for songs that were where he had his where he could really show his drumming skills, and Boomerang was one of those.
All right, so back to me.
Yep, back to you.
All right. Well, actually, mine was the same as Alan. So, Alan, what else do you have, buddy?
My number 4 is Under the Gun off of the Animalize album because Eric co-wrote that song.
Oh, where's my list? Oh, my list is on my phone. I have a notebook. I didn't use my notebook. I used my thing.
Well, I figured out I get them typed up in Notepad on my screen before I get started. That way I don't lose my notes.
Yeah, I got it in here. So my next one is Rock and Roll Hell off Creatures of the Night. Just the beginning, the drum part of that song, and that, actually, I made a comment earlier that to these guys that it's going to be kind of difficult to not just go, it's this album. Because for me, Eric Carr, that Creatures of the Night album was just, the drums were so huge and they sounded, they were all recorded in a bathroom is what they set them up in, or a small room, and they sounded gigantic or ginormous in this case. And so yeah, Rock and Roll Hell is my next pick. So I would go with that. Dennis.
Oh, is it my turn?
Did you do your number 4, Dennis?
Yes, I did number 4.
No. So anyway, I'm like Bill. Eric's drumming on Creatures of the Night was just fantastic. I mean, once you get to Lick It Up, it's just kind of mainstream again, but Creatures was the one. So I'm gonna go with Creatures of the Night. I mean, just that intro, boom, 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 boom. Most of my songs are probably going to come from Creatures, just for that fact of. I mean, it is a good sound.
That's bombastic drums on that
It
album
is
for sure.
This Creatures was the album that got me back into Kiss. I mean, after the lull.
After the debacle. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The debacle that you like.
Well, I do. There's some that I do like in there. So.
It's okay. You can like it.
Well, I do.
I feel bad for you, but
I'll wave the banner all day for that.
You won't listen to anything off Sonic Boom. You won't listen to anything off Sonic Boom or Monster, and you'll listen to that piece of garbage.
I will put the Elder up against those two any day.
Oh, dude, their music is so much on those two records.
Sonic Boom and Monster.
That's another show right there.
Yeah, they've got some good songs on there.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're not terrible.
Anyway.
Go.
Anyway. All right, Alan, what's number 3, buddy?
My number 3 is Young and Wasted off the Lick It Up album. Now, before Young and Wasted was just another song off of Lick It Up, which is one of my favorite albums. And then I saw Animalize Live Uncensored, and Eric Carr was singing that one, and that just made me totally fall in love with that song. Of course, back in those days, Eric Carr was my drum hero, so a lot of I know Dennis isn't a big Eric Carr fan, but, I was a young drummer coming up in the 80s when everybody was doing the double kick drums, which I couldn't do if I had to save my life, I would die. I just can't do that.
Oh, really?
But no, I
can't do it?
Well, I have balance issues, and
we know that.
You kind of got to be able to sit steady on a drum stool to be able to do the double kick, and I just can't do it. So,
well, we know you have balance issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shut
that beard.
Shut up, man.
Shut your pie hole. So, Dennis, do you not like Eric Carr? Do you have an Eric Carr thing, man? I didn't know that.
I mean, the thing is, Eric never shined for me. I mean, he was a great drummer, and he was a great addition to Kiss. He just doesn't really. I'm not a drummer.
I wanted to clarify. I'm a drummer. Dennis is not a drummer. Right. I can see why Eric Carr doesn't appeal.
I mean,
to
I
him.
do play drums. I have I can play drums, but I'm just not a drummer. So I don't look to most bands. A drummer is not my. I always look at either the guitar player or the singer, or I'm just not that's not my person. So when Eric was replaced with Peter, I wasn't a big Peter fan. So when Eric came in,
he likes little Peter.
Yeah, I'm a little Peter fan. But anyway,
so is your wife.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. For the video guys.
Oh my god.
But anyway, no, I mean,
sorry,
so Eric wasn't. I mean, and then whenever we got Eric Singer in there. I mean, I love Eric Singer. Eric Singer is a great drummer. But there again, it's a drummer for Kiss. It doesn't really make a difference. The drums don't make much of a difference. The reason I was saying to me, but the thing was, the reason I was saying, and actually Young and Wasted was another one I was going to bring up. That was going to be my next pick for the fact of that he did sing and play that. And it is a good drum beat. But most of my songs are going to come off of Creatures just for the fact of the sound of the drums.
That's valid.
But, but like I said, Eric, God love his soul. I mean, he was a great drummer and he did great things for Kiss. I'm just not a drum person. So that's just, and Bill, you're blurry as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to laughing and leaned forward and
there
got
you go.
There you go. Got it.
There we go. I had to reset the camera.
Okay.
So that was my number 3.
You've been drinking.
I thought my cold medicine was getting up. And like I said, if you see me coughing and hacking on here, I'm still sick from actually last Tuesday.
Yeah,
so
that was my number 3 too. Creatures was my number 3. Mine as well. All right, so what do you got? What else you got, Alan?
My number 2 is I Still Love You off of the Creatures of the Night album. And the reason that I chose that one is because Eric plays bass on that recording.
Really? I didn't know.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
I knew that he had played guitar, but I didn't know that was.
You did your research, buddy. Look at that. He's got
he's all like,
songs for
it's
a
that
reason.
beard.
I just picked songs because they sound good. It's
he's
the
got
beard.
that beard.
Man.
He's
Well,
like,
I'll be smarter next week.
Not only does the beard make me look professorally intelligent, but I'm an Eric Carr
That's not
fan.
even a word.
It is now because I just made it up. But I'm an Eric Carr fan, so these are stupid things that I know about him that most people don't give a shit about.
See, now if anybody doesn't,
I think it's cool that you know that.
so if you don't watch the video or YouTube videos, you notice now that we are all in the November no shave. So the beard's coming back.
I think
I'm
Alan's
like
Alan checked into that back in
Alan
June.
did it like in June.
Yeah.
When did you start that?
Day 197 into No Shave November.
Seriously, when did you start that?
The Wednesday before Memorial Day weekend.
I knew it was back then. I knew it'd been a while because I was like, "Why are you doing that in the summer, dude?"
Yeah, I remember it was hotter. Fuck.
Apparently,
the last time I tried to grow, or the last time I grew a beard, I started it in the summer.
All right.
That's kind of weird.
Just got to be different.
Guess so. Whatever. Beards are in though.
Yep.
So
that was my number 2. I Still Love You by Eric Carr on the bass.
All right. My number 2 is Killer, also off Creatures of the Night. Again, it's just the drumming in that song.
That's a good song.
Cool. It's a good song, and that's my number 2. Killer.
All right. My number 2 is Keep It Coming from that album. Like I said,
okay. Well, let's just say, okay, Creatures of the Night, all of it.
Okay. So basically, I'm gonna stop now at this point because I don't really have a favorite. Just everything off of Creatures is my favorite from Eric Carr. And like I said, God rest his soul. I mean, he was a great drummer. I mean, awesome.
Yeah, I didn't really put mine in order. I just how I have them listed. It's not my favorite.
I went through and actually today I'm late doing things because I've been working overtime and then I've been sick over things. So I've been going through today and just kind of going through each song, just and a lot of the stuff through like Hot in the Shade. There's no standout songs. They're just basic drum beats,
Well,
except
some of
for
those songs on Hot in the Shade are reported to be drum machines.
Well, yeah, exactly, because they were demos, a lot of those. And there again, I don't think that Kiss gave Eric Carr his time to shine. To be honest, he was kind of, I think.
Well, I think that goes back to the, this is our band, you're a hired gun.
Exactly. And I don't think that he actually shined what he was told what to do.
Well,
regiment of what he could do, and that's it.
And he was also the first replacement.
Correct.
Right.
So
plus he had to deal with the the first person to do a different makeup and all that other crap. And that was one thing that was very interesting. I heard an interview here with Lynn the girl, Lynn was it Goldstein?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. But where she was talking about how everybody was all really comfortable in their makeup and could pose and stuff, and he just knew like one pose. He just he just didn't know he couldn't quite get it. I mean,
well, they had years of it, right? They had years and years of it.
Threw him in. I mean, that dude got thrown into the fire. I mean, he was a repairman one day, and the next day you're in Kiss. You're in the biggest band in the world. I mean, that's a fucking accomplishment, and a half, and then having to be able to deal with that. So anyway,
yeah, pretty cool.
I'm good.
All right, Alan, what do you got next? What do you got left, man?
My number one is All Hell's Breaking Loose off of the Lick It Up album because Eric wrote that song.
Really?
Yep. He wrote the song, brought the song to the band, and in typical Paul fashion, he had to do some rearranging. But Eric has the main writing credit on that.
Really? Huh.
And do you know that that's Tommy Thayer's favorite Kiss song to play that he doesn't get to play?
No.
Imagine that.
And I know that because he told Noah that when we met him.
That's
Noah asked him that question, and he said, "All hell's." I mean, he said it like that. It wasn't like, let me think about it. No, it was within seconds. Well, I think that's a song that they, I think that's a song they play in the, sometimes for.
Could Paul, I'm thinking back.
Sound check. What?
Yeah,
could Paul sing that now?
It could be hard on Paul.
I don't know.
Well,
no, it's lower register.
With them being tuned down now,
it's lower register. He might be able to do that.
Yeah. It's not too bad.
Because it's kind of a rapping thing in between it.
Well, that's in Lick It Up, so he wasn't too high in Lick It Up yet. I mean, when Asylum was, or
that's the thing for that's the thing for poor Bruce. He ain't never going to get an opportunity because Paul can't sing any of those songs that he did with Bruce. They were so high at that point. I mean, he just kept going higher and higher and higher. There's just no way he can get to that point.
Higher,
and higher and higher and higher. We couldn't pass it up.
Nope.
That's a great song.
So that was my number one.
So the last one for me is Who Wants to Be Lonely off Asylum. Again, a great song. And I do, I think his drumming on that's pretty good. That drumming doesn't sound to me in that song as, I don't know, canned. I guess it does as some of the other stuff off Asylum. But yeah, I that's one of my favorite songs too. I'd love to see him do that live.
Yep.
But some people got to see that. No, they didn't. They got to see Bob and Bruce do that live.
Yeah.
And with a guy who could sing it.
And a guy that could sing it.
Dennis.
Give it a chance.
And for me, it's basically, like I said, I'm just going to say Creatures of the Night, the whole album. That is my, seriously. I honestly, I don't have a particular song for him. I mean, and it's no disrespect. It's just that I'm not a drum person. But the sound on that album was just incredible. And he did considering that, he came into this band and then his first album was The Elder. How crappy could that be,
He didn't do any drumming on Unmasked, did he? That was still Anton Fig, correct?
That was still, and whoever else they got bringing in.
Alan Schwartzberg.
The Elder was the first thing he did anything on. Cough, hold on.
Poor guy.
Poor Dennis got to cough again.
Oh no, I was poor Eric.
Oh, I know you were saying poor Eric, but I'm just feeling bad. I'm feeling bad for Dennis.
Yeah, I've got coughing fits. I've been a week of this crap. I'm about done with it.
I feel your pain, buddy.
No, it's like I said though, it was kind of think about that though, coming into a band that was as big as Kiss, you see him in 77, all this big regalia. Then you're brought into the band, and your first album is The Elder.
Hi, we're going to try to recreate Pink Floyd's The Wall. Welcome to the band.
Yeah, and it's like
we're going to make one album that's going to ruin our career. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I mean, and that, and
we're gonna lose 90% of our audience in one album. Watch.
I mean,
Boom.
that had to be so freaking weird. I mean, it just, I mean, you couldn't imagine somebody coming into that situation, you know.
I can imagine the first time he had to play something off of The Elder, he went, are you the same guys that wear that makeup stuff that played that Destroyer album and Rock and Roll Over?
Right.
Those the same guys?
Well, that and you both went to you guys both went to one of the official reunions, right? I know Alan did.
Oh yeah,
I went to 2 of them.
So I did too, the Nashville and the Indianapolis. And
are you talking about the reunion concert or the Kiss convention?
Kiss conventions.
Okay, I went to the one in Nashville. That's the only one I went.
I was supposed to go to the one in Indianapolis with you, and I had to cancel at the last minute.
That's right. Anyway, the whole point was the first time that Eric walked out in that hawk costume that they had on the mannequin out there. I mean, could you imagine having to do that too?
No.
That thing was, I mean, like how they even got to that point. Okay, you're gonna be a hawk.
You're
gonna be like
chicken.
You're gonna be a chicken. Hey, when we put the
chicken, and I'm a chicken hawk.
When we play the Center, you're gonna be like the most popular person here. But yeah, it's like going, holy crap, what the hell were they thinking about? You know, it's like, it's crazy.
And you know, it's unfortunate because I think, you know, if you read Paul's book and stuff like that, and you read some other stuff you've heard from Eric, he was kind of never really kind of felt, I think, that at least from what I read, that he belonged there and he struggled. And, you know, Bruce has made comment about that before, and you know, just about insecurities and stuff like that. But you know, I always found him to be part of the group and part of the band, and a very important part of the band. I have his autograph that I got from somebody that when he stayed at the hotel at the Executive Inn downtown, and somebody got it for me on a napkin, and I still have it. But
that's very
you know,
cool.
I think that the public, you know, appreciated him, and the public accepted him as a Kiss person.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think that he accepted himself into Kiss.
I think,
and it may be that fact of that, you know, he came in with that weird album, and you know, it was just a weird situation for him.
Well, I think part of the problem for Eric was, you know, when Peter left the band, Gene and Paul had enough of Peter's antics, had enough of Ace's antics, and whoever else come into the band was going to know right away, you know, you're an employee, we're the boss, this is the way things are going to be. You know.
Yeah.
Now, a positive thing I will say about Eric being in the band is no matter how he felt about what was going on internally, I have never once heard a bad story about Eric Carr dealing with a fan. He always stopped and talked to him, signed autographs, took pictures. You know, so for the shit he put up with, he was still I think he was a fan of the fans.
Yeah. The band might have had issues with him. But like you said, I never heard any bad thing about fans. Everybody's said that he's went on, you know.
I don't know if the band had issues with him though.
Well,
I don't think the band had issues.
They didn't have issues with him, but they were concerned about.
Well, I think he just on a short leash.
Right.
I mean, I can understand why they would be gun shy. I mean, you know, you are at the peak of your career, and you got half the band that can't figure out how to get to the venue on time. And be sober enough to play. I mean, that I would be.
but Paul is
gun shy on that stuff.
And you know, in the last few years, there's been a lot coming out about Paul saying things about Eric, about as far as, you know, worrying about his disposition and everything else. You know, I don't. That shouldn't be really said. I don't think that there's anything that should be.
Well, that was in Paul's book. I mean, he talked about that. He talked about that. But they tried to make him, you know, they tried to make him fit in. I mean, they bought him a Porsche, and they tried to get, but you know, you don't know. It's a dynamics, and none of us were there, and you know, it's got to be tough. But you know, Eric Carr and his family can say that, you know, he played in, you know, one of the biggest bands in the world.
Exactly.
And there's a shit ton of other people that can't say that.
Right.
You know,
whatever happened to his Rockheads cartoon thing? I don't
know. You know, that's that I had some stuff off that at one time. I
I
don't know
know
where
it's.
it's at.
I mean, I think it got almost to development at some point, didn't it? Or I
Uh,
don't know.
there was so much of
No,
that stuff that was going on that I think some of it just kind of fell by the wayside.
and
Yeah.
I know that Bruce was helping him with some of it for a while.
Right. And Bruce had been doing some stuff, and because even I think Bruce after he passed away, Bruce even made a comment that at some point that may be coming out that they had actually finished some of the episodes or whatever it was, but who knows,
I wish I'd have thought about it. I've got a set of Eric Carr branded drumsticks that Eric's sister sent me way back in
Well, that's cool.
2009 or something.
Right.
I might have even had them longer than that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think I have that. I think I have the music off that Rockheads.
Right. But
Was it
there
called
again,
Rockology?
No, it was called Rockhead. It was called Rockheads.
Right. But it may be some of those situations where it's all bound up in legal shit. Some company has the rights to this and the rights to that, and they're feuding over the other people's right. That's where a lot of that shit gets tied.
Yeah, but
up.
I know that Bruce was trying to really help him get that rolling.
Bruce was. I know for a fact because I've read a bunch of shit about that, and I'd be curious to maybe we'll look into that, see where that's.
Be interesting, it's kind of funny, because Bruce and him, I think, became pretty close.
Right.
And it's that whole thing about we're the hired guns and.
Well, they had to be close because they were the outsiders. I mean,
Yeah.
Even though they were in KISS, they were the guys that were going to be, basically whenever KISS rejoined, guess who, they're gone, Well,
yeah.
If Eric would have been with them at that point, they would have both been gone,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they both knew that. I mean, at some point that it was gonna happen, just when and where it was just a matter of time. But anyway, interesting.
I was trying to look to see if I had that any of that music. I thought I did. Can't.
Real quick, while we're just kind of sitting here and mulling.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that they added that second side to the KISS 78?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I gotta pick that up. I keep forgetting about that.
Well, actually, I downloaded it off this CD Baby thing.
Uh-huh.
I paid my $4, and I can't figure out how to download it. So I'm going to have to probably go to YouTube or iTunes and have to download it again and pay for it. So those guys get paid twice, But how do you do that? I mean, I'm like retarded as far as
when I come over to look at your 1977 to 1978 book, I'll help you download
plus
that.
Get your gift. Yes.
It's
sitting back right over there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're it was called when it was released. It was called Rockology. You're right, and I do have it.
Okay.
Eyes of Love's on it. Somebody's Waiting. Yeah. Heavy Metal Baby. Just Can't Wait. Mad Dog. And You Drive Me or You Make Me Crazy.
Yeah, there were a couple
there's
of
more.
songs
Nightmare. Too Cool for School. Tierra. Can You Feel It?
Yeah.
Nasty Boys.
Yeah.
What was this? So what was this from then? This
was some stuff that he had recorded as demos, and his sister Loretta had all of that stuff, and I think that she worked with Bruce Kulick, and he come in and laid down guitar tracks and solos and stuff like that, and just finished all that stuff up and put out an album.
I've never heard it. So
really?
I've got it around here somewhere.
Well, I'll tell you what. When you come over, bring me.
If I can find it,
we'll share something.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, I forgot I had that.
We're all into sharing and all into That's why Gene won't put out a new album because he doesn't want us all to just sit around and be nice and share everything together.
So did you guys see the since we're we can get off that Eric topic for a second. Right. Is that okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
So did you see? Yeah, we've kind of veered off that.
We've beat that topic to death.
We have. So did you see the Perfect Circle through 60 fans out of a venue?
Yes.
Out of a concert the other day? Are they out of their freaking mind?
Why would they do that? Why would they do that?
Maynard is a turd. That's why.
Well, supposedly
Well,
this guy, he sings at the back corner of the stage and tries to stay out of the limelight or whatever. He's like he's like a Jim Morrison kind of don't want this.
He's an avant-garde tool.
Guess what? Avant-garde ain't gonna have any fucking
I think he's
fans.
a tool. I think you got that.
He don't have
right.
any
Got the name
fans
of his
because
band right.
the next fucking concert they should all the fans just say, you know what? Fuck you. We're not gonna show up. That's bullshit. Avant-garde. You know what?
My post was, so they threw out a third of their fans that were in the building and
emptied the venue.
And they emptied the venue. And that was brilliant because you're a bunch of, I mean, and I guess I just
But
don't
you know what? They got fucking news about it. And so everybody's like checking them out. And, it's just a bunch
they're not going to buy, they're not going to
But
go
there's
to the
going to be some fucking hipsters that are going to say, ew, this fucking cool. Fuck those guys with the iPhones and bastards and fucking Antifa. There's so many weird people around nowadays.
Yeah, one of them's on this show with us.
Yeah, me. I'm sick though. Fuck you guys.
You're sick when you're well.
I am.
All right, guys.
I'm getting a nice little beard going.
We ready to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
It ain't like.
All right, so
like
you can find it. Thanks for listening and watching, whatever.
Please,
leave us some feedback. Leave us some feedback on the Facebook page. We want some stuff on the Facebook page. Leave us feedback on there. You can leave us some stuff on iTunes. Shoot us a Twitter, something on the Twitter.
Hey, tell you what, call me at my home phone. It's 867-5309. Just call me up. That's for Jenny.
Yeah. I'll post Dennis's phone number on the web, and you can call Dennis and act like you're a Microsoft salesperson. See how it works out.
I love to fuck with those guys. Oh, please do.
Anyway,
let's
finish
so
signing
you can
off
find
here.
us on so you can find us on Stitcher Radio, www.agesofrock.com, and iTunes, all that kind of stuff we've already talked about. So another good show. It was good chat with you guys, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Later.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.